a week before has finally released, and nobody cares about it. Now, obviously that's a joke, but it's safe to say that it definitely flew under the radar, just due to the fact that PAX was happening, and most FNAF fans don't actually care about the books. And guess what? The lore in here is actually pretty good. I don't mind it that much. I didn't really pay attention to it too much, but hey. Now, the week before, if you don't already know, is supposed to be a book based on the phone guy from FNAF 1. This is apparently a one-to-one what happens in canon right before the game. There's certainly one major issue that I have with that theory, but we'll get to it in a bit. If you don't already know how these book reviews usually go, I'm just going to go through my notes and I'm going to point out everything that I was pretty much feeling at the time while giving a summary of the events of the book. So as per usual with these interactive books, we have a little bit of an intro, which apparently thanks DJ Stir for playtesting this, quote unquote. So, you know, we're just gonna blame him for anything that's wrong with the book. I'm joking, obviously. Once again, there are more difficulty sliders, and we start on normal because mama ain't raised no bitch. And you know, from here, I can already tell this is gonna be quite the journey. There's actually a table of contents, and there are apparently 6 nights. Wow. Was not expecting that one. So the first thing we learn is that our character, our protagonist, is named Ralph. And apparently we're getting switched to the night shift for our final week of employment there. We're just gonna be having to survive 5 nights at Freddy's. Now our boy Ralph, maybe a reference to the breaking wheel, I don't know, probably not. He's been at the company for a while, right? He's been here for a good spell. And inner monologue shows that Ralph has actually been the person leaving the training phone messages, right? And we already knew that based on the advertisements of the book. And we do learn that obviously these most recent ones are the ones that end up in the Five Nights at Freddy's game, right? We also learn that he has a daughter named Coppelia. Coppelia? C-O-P-P-E-L-I-A. Coppelia? Copper? So basically, we start the night by roaming around and put random shit in our pockets to avoid the animatronics. And let me just say, my first issues already rear their ugly heads with this book. Let me tell you. So for one, we get so many items, and a lot of them just seem so completely ridiculous. And it really doesn't start off great because you get chewed gum, a paperclip, which is fair, and then you get a gum wrapper, and it's a crucial way to survive the night? What? Suspended disbelief aside, our character genuinely believes he will die, or at least it is played out as such, if he is to meet face to face with an animatronic. Which is weird because he only really questions the fact that he's almost died several times when he gets home. And the book even calls this out. The book literally says that he seemingly just forgets about the nights as soon as he leaves, which is, okay, cool. I don't know what they're trying to explain away other than the lack of paranoia that he has, but whatever. So our first task is to actually go into the bathroom and replace the light bulbs, and we end up just hiding in a stall because of Foxy, and this is actually where we, like, just completely burn through, like, 3 of our items. It's kind of wild. We end up finding a pen in another stall, and apparently someone vandalized it with, it's me. Interesting. Nothing comes of that for now. But after that, Bonnie's actually at the door, and he will stuff us in the suit if we don't escape him. So, very clearly already, we now have it confirmed for a fact that, programming or not, the animatronics do absolutely stuff you in the suits. And we're actually going to get a ton more seemingly confirmations by the end of the book. So I have been looking out for those. I'll try to call them out as I see fit. Not everything obviously is going to click with me immediately just because I'm not really smart in regard to FNAF lore. Sorry, not sorry. So we make it to the security office, and it actually has a hunkable Freddy poster, which drops a scratched out ID. So, like, why? Already my suspended disbelief has been thoroughly questioned, and So the book calls out that our character Ralph is actually known by his other coworkers as the phone guy. So that's pretty cool. Now, again, there's this weird dichotomy of sorts that the book doesn't call out for the first, like, 2 or 3 nights. And it's between Ralph, like, loving the restaurant. Obviously, he stayed there as long as he did, while hating it, right? He throws so much shade onto the restaurant as the book progresses, and yet it's always talking about him as if he absolutely loves this place. And even in the final chapters, he talks about, like, failing his lost friends if you end up shorting the animatronics. We'll get to that. It's really weird, right? And to support this claim just a little bit, I'm gonna just list off a few things that I connected the dots to while, thinking this thought. Number 1, he's seemingly terrified of the animatronics finding him, and I guess the reasoning behind that would be he doesn't know about any, like, foul play when it comes to the accident, quote-unquote, of the bite of 87. He doesn't actually call out anything, really, when it comes to the bite of 83, which is strange. He just refers to it as the big bite, and talks about it like he was working, like, when it happened. So that's kind of weird. Maybe I misinterpreted. I don't know. Comment below. He clearly states that if anyone is to break in, they would most likely be killed. Right? Rather than, I have to get them out of here, I don't want them messing anything up. He goes immediately to they are going to get hurt. And yet he still sings the praises of Freddy's? Yeah, but that's about it. Let's move on. So, we go home after surviving the shenanigans, and we talk to our little child before seeing her off to school, and she ends up taking our pen, which we find out to be, also a screwdriver. Cool. Night 2. So we start off night 2, and, already we're having to do some more tasks. Things are already kind of being a little bit weird. We walk down the hall, and the posters seemingly change due to hallucinations or whatever, and Ralph describes the poster being Freddy ripping his head off, so that's interesting, and also accurate to the games, somewhat. We end up going into the back rooms, and we grab a flashlight, fight off Foxy, and then a screwdriver as well. The reason we're out there is because Bonnie's head apparently fell over, and so we screw that back on, and then screw in the screws. After that, I believe Chica chases after us, and we go into a party room, and we actually use the ID to open a door like people would in the movies, I guess. And then we get a Zippo lighter. We end up heading back to the security office, and at 5:59, Bonnie's at our door and stands there for a bit before leaving at 6. Good RNG, am I right? So after this, we go home once more, still not really acknowledging how many times we've almost died at this point. Like, we've met up face to face with animatronics practically 6 times. And I'm given the option to give Coppelia a coin, right? A Faz coin. And then I start to realize that I've actually never seen the option to get a coin at this point. And guess what? I skimmed through the entirety of nights 1 and 2 all over again, and I still have no fucking clue how you're supposed to get it, so I don't give it to her. It doesn't actually do anything anyway, I don't think. Oh well. Alright, night 3, and the book brings up the reasoning behind not thinking about imminent death while at this location. That is consistently surrounding Ralph, once again, and tries to explain it away by brushing it off. Alright, and this is where it comes in, right? This is where it says, oh, you leave and suddenly you don't remember the night. Anyway, a window is broken, and in that room there's blood on the floor. We assume that, Chica has done some killing, because she actually pops in and is covered in blood, wouldn't you know? That's kind of weird. We find out later this isn't true. But she's covered in blood, so... After hiding in the kitchen, we light a candle on a cupcake that we see on a counter, and we try to, distract the animatronic with that, right? And then this really weird sequence of events happens, right? Chica comes in, and the MC blows his position, right? By singing Happy Birthday. And strangely, the name Susie pops into our head when we get to the part where we're supposed to name the person in the Happy Birthday song, and obviously, we all expected this one coming. It's Susie. So that seems to be a definitive confirmation for the name of Chica's victim, obviously. And instead of like actually killing us, Chica smashes the cupcake like she's Gordon Ramsay and that shit's raw as hell. And runs away screaming in anguish, it would seem. Weird. Your other option is to actually not light the cupcake, because you don't have a lighter. And Chica actually takes the cupcake and then leaves Mr. Cupcake, her little buddy, right? And you can actually just take him right then and there. Well, that's pretty cool. We end up obviously deciding the route of the lighter. So, yeah. And apparently there's a gold ring that we find in the cupcake that she smashed. So that's pretty cool, I guess. We end up finding a water gun in a bucket, which we were going to use to mop up the blood, because the night actually starts out with you deciding whether you're going to mop the blood up first or seal the window. We sealed the window because you just kind of die if you don't. And then we actually end the night with Freddy doing his lights out mechanic. Obviously, we're clutch as hell, and we get that good Freddy RNG so it doesn't just cut out immediately, and 6 a.m. actually drives him away, so that's great. Now we go home, and I found out that if you do give your child Mr. Cupcake, she'll just die. She'll just die. She's kaput, right? Apparently she gets like mauled to death or something and then disappears before actually catching her bus to school. So that's kind of funny. We can also give her the water gun or a gold ring. We later find out that both of these are not the right option. So that's great. Yeah, no, my decision of whether or not to give her certain items changes so many times because of night 5. And there's like 4 different ways you can go about it, and pretty much all of them are annoying. Now, I know 100% I read through night 4, but it's nowhere in my notes at all. So I'm just gonna say all I really remember about it is that there are tons of vent sections. You go in so many vents, and oh my god, that was like the first point in the book where I'm like, wow, I don't want to read this. And then I like set it down for an entire day. Sorry for the delay, by the way. Okay, something I actually should have wrote down in my notes for night 4 is that you actually end up using the golden ring to get a ticket, maybe to Fredbear's Family Diner. I don't really remember, but yeah, you can go into Pirate's Cove. And if you end up using your golden ring to like put on a scale, don't ask. It'll end up winning the game or something like that, and it'll print out the ticket that's like covered in blood or something. And this thing's actually really important for a supposed night 6, if you'd believe it. But let's just skip to night 5. I finally found out that you actually do need both the water gun and the ring in order to get the secret. That is the ticket I was just talking about. But moving on, during night 5, you can actually dial the number 1983, and you can hear the bite of 83 just straight up happen, right? And this is where Ralph describes it as the big bite, comparing it to the Great War before it was called World War II, because, you know, Mr. President, a second animatronic has bitten a child. Stuff like that. Turns out the secret ticket actually lets you talk to the person who broke in the night before, and she's not super important, I don't think? Correct me if I'm wrong. So using this ticket, we can dial the digits on the back, and we can actually get a voicemail from the girl who apparently was stuffed in the suit, and that's who broke in during night 3. Turns out it was Bonnie that killed her, but whatever. Apparently she was someone who was going to get hired by Fazbear's, but wasn't, and she's now a reporter who broke in to try to get a scoop. Smart. She's the one who gives us this little plan of the animatronics, which apparently tells us that they're super restless and will break out by any means necessary to wreak havoc on any and everywhere they can without losing all of their battery charge. So what they're doing is they're supercharging their batteries via the panels that they stand on, which are on the stage apparently, and they're just gonna go like full cock and balls, supercharged, single and ready to mingle, and they're just gonna be out and about trying to kill people for whatever reason, right? And so that then puts a new main quest on Ralph's little monkey brain, right? And he kind of puts it upon himself to solve this mystery by coming back the next night and just ending it by putting their batteries back to normal or something like that. It turns out, if you do return on night 6, in order to stop the animatronics from supposedly getting out, there are several endings for this night 6 specifically. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the endings that I actually remember. So yeah, basically you can just ignore night 6 and you'll just sleep, having a supposed good night's rest, but always having in the back of your mind that the animatronics are gonna get out. And based on some of the other endings, I actually know for a fact that they are going to kill you and Coppelia. No ifs, ands, or buts. You will die in that ending, even though it doesn't explicitly say it. We find out in a different game over ending, the animatronics will get out and they will one by one go to each house in a straight line, killing and murdering everyone in there. I said killing and murdering like those were different things. Until they actually get to your house and they will kill you and Coppelia. So that's just great. Fucking love that. That's awesome. Oh my god, they have a vendetta against us. We haven't done anything wrong. Good. Love it. Another ending is to completely short circuit the animatronics during night 6, and they'll all explode except for Foxy, which then busts into your door. And basically, you'll just die on the floor due to Foxy, regardless of whatever items you'll give Coppelia. Pretty much just hoping that Coppelia doesn't die. And the ending ends with Chica walking up to you and saying, "It's me," in Coppelia's voice. So, Another ending is valiantly dying in your office, just asking Foxy not to hurt Coppelia, which is probably one of the most satisfying ones, because you know for a fact at that point that nothing bad is going to happen to her. I guess there's actually one other one, so let's talk about it. Another ending where you can actually like power down the animatronics, but I wouldn't really call this an ending, because you get confronted by Golden Freddy. The animatronics are successfully taken down from their supercharged state, and Golden Freddy supposedly kills you, right? And it fills the screen with "It's me." I say screen like it's not a fucking page. It fills the page with "It's me" until it says "She's safe." And I believe this might be the reporter, right? Because apparently she was stuffed in a Golden Freddy suit. So maybe the reporter is telling us that we did the right thing, everyone's saved, Coppelia is gonna be good. But like, if that's really the best ending they have to offer, then what the fuck? Is it really an ending? I don't know. Because this book seemingly introduces time travel. It puts you at the start of the book. And now you have a bonus item, the phone. And this is actually how you leave all of your original Phone Guy messages throughout the nights. The reason Phone Guy dies on night 4 is because he actually forgot to record one for night 4 and records it on night 5. The sound we hear isn't Golden Freddy, apparently. It's all the animatronics screaming at once after the "oh no." So that's cool? So yeah, to sum it all up, you're either complacent and alive while having the thought of saving everybody in the back of your head and most likely dying, or you die trying. And it's like, well, what the heck? What's the point? What? And it doesn't even matter, because if you try to get the bonus ending anyway, you're just gonna die like Phone Guy did in the original game. Does this mean that you're actually like time traveling? Does this mean that you don't really die on night 4 for FNAF 1? What does it mean? I don't get it. If you want to help me try to understand this, feel free to leave it in the comments. Just make sure you write it like you would talking down to a 5-year-old, because oh my god, at this point I'm losing it all. I have to say, unless I'm missing like a lot, and I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% certain that I read through at least most of this book, right? Like 95%. Unless I just didn't and I could not find the options for it. This book is, at best, it's fun yet unsatisfying, and at the worst, it's boring and forgettable. Because yes, I did have several sections where I just did not want to read the book anymore. Specifically being the Night 4 vent section. That one had me just upset. And actually the Night 5 section where you just have to go through the maze that is all your different choices. So many of them, once again, just like in VIP, they all just lead to instant death. And I so wish that they would just make this into not like a Telltale tier game, like a Minecraft story mode, where you have all these like interactive cutscenes. No, I just wish that it was more like a game where it would actually keep track of all these things for you, so it could tell you what things are gonna just kill you instantly. Regardless, I especially think that these interactive books are just not for me, so I'm actually not excited for the entire line of interactive books that are going to be coming out. But regardless of my opinion on that, I will say this book is pretty decent. If you're one of those point at the screen FNAF fans, oh, he said I always come back, you're gonna love this book. You're gonna absolutely love it. If you're more like me and you're kind of numbed to all the fan service and just random FNAF isms that kind of happen, you're probably not gonna enjoy this. I've become a little jaded when it comes to like specifically FNAF lore in general, because I really am so tired of FNAF not giving us a coherent story that anyone can understand. I'm so tired of just having to search for all the clues and lore myself. And obviously, if you like that, then more power to you, right? That sounds kind of fun if you are definitely into that. But for me, I'm tired of doing that. I don't want to have to look up the newest theory video just because I don't want to have to dissect it all myself. Sometimes, like with all the different FNAF novels, specifically the Fazbear Frights ones, I just want a story. I just want a good story. Alright? I don't want to have to dig deep into the weeds just to figure out what's happening, and only if barely, which then leads to speculation upon speculation upon speculation, getting weaker and weaker and weaker every single time. I'm tired of it. I really do wish Scott would start confirming some more things, just so that us as a community could find out more. And I guess, as unfortunate as it is, this might just be his way of doing so. But to sum it all up, I will say that this book is probably a 7 out of 10. I am not a fan of the interactive novel portions of it, but at the very least, it does have several interesting things that are happening throughout the whole book, and it's only $8, so I'll take that. 7 out of 10. Probably wouldn't read again, but oh well, you know. That means I'll have more time for all the other FNAF novels. Yay! But with that being said, that is going to be about it for today, so thank you everybody so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. If you're not already, make sure to join the Discord down below. I do stream several days weekly. I do release my schedules on every Saturday in the Discord, so make sure to check that out. And with that being said, yeah, that's about it for me. Hopefully this comes out before my Terraria marathon I'm planning to do this Saturday. As always, lots of love to all of you, and have a day.